Hey guys, after spending millions and millions of dollars in the last 16 years on all platforms, I decided to just record my top uh, nine um, lead source, paid ad source that I've encountered by top to bottom. Where's the top qualified leads from are coming from to the least performing one. Okay, so one, Google paid search. The downside of Google paid uh, search is that it's limited in scaling. In general, after a couple months, probably already know you quickly ends up to a point where you either can't get more leads or the leads are too expensive to get over a certain amount of money. There's also only a certain amount of search that are like related to your what you're targeting, basically what you're selling. There's only a certain amount of people looking for this for specific keywords and over it. So if you want to get more lead in that more scale in general, you're pretty much stuck quickly there. So number two, can you guess what's gonna be? Search, but this time YouTube ads. YouTube ads search. Okay. So by targeting the same keywords that work on Google search, in general, you're gonna get not only by default you're gonna get a 50, well, okay. So by default you just start even with the worst video ads, and you're gonna get a you just pay 50 cents per click, so that's good already a big win even though with the worst ad. And with a good ad, you can get a cost per click around like 25 cents. So something we haven't even seen in the last like dozens of years with on Google search. And also in YouTube ads, you don't have any like it's not as good as it used to. There's been some golden days where I've seen amazing spend on YouTube ads. In the last 2 years, it's been very different, but it's still a good quality source of leads. And generally, with a good audience, you can spend 2 to 3 times as much on Google search than you on Google, excuse me, on YouTube ads. So the lead quality are as good or better. You have a ton of people. It's the second best search engine. You have a ton of people looking for reviews, alternative, looking for solutions. So it's the best place to be to show you exactly what you do and to be interesting only to the right person. You don't want to be interesting to anyone. You want to be you want only the your best persona to like you. Basically. Okay. Number three, Google search partner. Yes. Okay. So Google search partners, it's you have to check the by default, it's included in your campaigns. There's a way to check out if it's performing or not. But in general, what I found is that there's a it's just millions and millions of other blog posts, other people with their Google AdSense getting their ad in your face. And what I found is that most of these, like, you get a ton of spend there, probably even 2 to 3 times as much as search. The cost per lead is super cheap in general, but it's lower quality because the it's not specific to a search. It's like it's specific to search, but quite it's very broad. It's like they take your keyword and they even though it would have been on like um, phrase match or exact match, they just switch it to broad, and then anything that is close or even like loosely related to your keyword, your original keyword, you get to show uh, in their content basically. I would consider like removing it if you don't need it, if you really want to see the difference between both. So for Microsoft ad or Bing ads, Bing ads has always been like I'd say 99% of the time I've seen very good results from there, targeting the exact same keywords. Then, like, the only downside of it is that you can only spend probably 10% of your Google budget, so it's very limited. But the cost per lead is always like 20% lower. The only downside already also is that, yeah, it's limited. You can't spend as much, but if you want to try it, it works in pretty much every B2B, B2C works both for well for both. It's not always the case, but mostly. I wouldn't recommend it for e-commerce though. They suck for e-commerce. So five, PMax. It's been around for probably 2 years. Where I recommend PMax for lead. Yes, I love PMax for, but it's not good quality leads, and I wouldn't recommend it for B2Bs unless you have a real value that is like PMax with real value is probably one of the best lead gen campaign you can get. But most of us don't have that value like available to feed to PMax. So what I'm gonna say is that if you want to use it with a just know in advance that you have to be able to track it differently so you can like definitely see is it worth having. You probably are gonna have your own objectives, your own customer objective that you need to get to get the PMax like really profitable. So it's still decent because it's a 5 out of 9. So it's still very good, decent. Campaign, but it's not. The cost per lead is amazing. The conversions looks amazing, but they only look amazing. They're not as well as they're not as good as the other source that we just. They look amazing, but you should be wary anyway. So just know in general that you need to get a lower cost per lead to make it work. Six, Facebook ads, two landing page basically. So it's probably your best lead quality on Facebook ads in the sense that you create a Facebook, you have a campaign, a Facebook ads campaign, and you create a conversion on your landing page where a person land and convert from there. So that's gonna be, but it's more expensive probably that by $10 than uh, Facebook format, which will come later in in the highlights. Sorry. So seven, TikTok ads to landing page. Also more expensive, but more qualified than Facebook formats and more qualified than TikTok formats. So then what come after? Eight. I still love the AD. The next one, like 8 and 9, I still love them, but you have to be careful. You have to know what you're going into. You're getting into. Okay, so eight, Facebook form ads. And there's no cheaper lead you can get um, at scale. Like Facebook can take any budget most of the time. You can spend, I've seen even like 20, 30K a day. Facebook just for lead generation. And the just the CPL is the only place when you can scale really at like infinitely at the super cheap cost per lead. It's just and we there's always way to find the right with the right copywriting, the right CTAs. You can always find the like in some cases I've even seen the cost per lead going under a dollar even so lower than that with the right with the right with the right copywriting with the right offer you and it's not just the amount of traffic you get from there and the amount of sales that you make in the back end, it's amazing. But there's a lot of shit lead. Like it's Facebook. It's not like Google where people are really looking for to solve a problem. Is that like the people you get in your funnel from Facebook? They are interested. but they are not necessarily ready to push a button and like pay for your goods. Huh? So, but with the conditional form that came out this year on Facebook, it's much better no matter what. Even though it's still cheap and pretty effective, you just have to know that it's not. You have plenty of people that are in different stage of the funnel. So 9, TikTok form ads. So as cheap as Facebook form ads, okay, it's probably the same results you can get from there. Scaled pretty much, pretty well. The only downside is that they don't offer the conditional form yet, so it's not very qualified. But just all of this, you can scale like to the moon. There's no limit to it. Also, the TikTok, one of the big advantages that there you have a ton of virality from all your ads, only 20%. And most people will say that running a TikTok campaigns on a regular basis also give like they see a big increase in the Google search. Basically. People's looking for a brand. So that's also something we're gonna cover in another video. But yeah, about your having a presence there on Google on your brand. So that's it for today. And please, if you want to get in touch with me, check into the settings and book a call.